uh, there was this very famous evangelist priest, or I don't know what they are, vicar, I don't know. But he was Jerry Falwell. Jerry Falwell was massive in 80s, and I think he had good relations with Reagan and all that, and basically a religious extremist in many ways, you know. Uh, and just to remind people how much of a religious extremist he was, he blamed 9/11 on paganism and feminists and abortionists, you know, and lesbians, all you know, the usual, blaming natural disasters on people who are LGBT community and all that type of thing. So very nice guy. He passed away a couple of years ago. His son Jerry Falwell Jr. Took his place as the head of the, I guess, family business. One of the parts of the family business was Liberty University, which is a highly religious university where I believe they don't allow even the male students to wear shorts. There are strict laws against dating and like curfew hours for ladies, and I'm guessing for boys too. To like at 9 you have to be back in your dorm room. I don't think they're allowed to have mixed sex dorm rooms, that type of thing. Very forward thinking place, basically. And well, this, when I originally told you the story was not where it is now. It was originally just the controversy over the fact that he had a picture taken with a pregnant lady where he had his zipper open. And people said, well, at your university you are so strict about laws, and then you do this and you're taking a picture and blah blah blah. And he was criticized, and then they put him, they sort of forced him to resign from Liberty University, which he did and stuff. But then the story has evolved immensely since then to a crazy story where a former business partner of theirs, a business partner of Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife, has uh, has as basically, what you say, has alleged that before he was their business partner, he was their pool boy, and he has alleged that he had affairs with Jerry Falwell's wife while Jerry Falwell watched. So the story has turned into a cuckold story, and then there are all these other allegations coming out. One from a former friend of their son, a former bandmate of their son from high school, university, who alleged that the wife of Jelly Falwell attacked him at night and gave him oral sex by force, pretty much. It's just the typical, your typical story that it turns out the religious nut job actually has more sexual kinks than, like the kinks that he's trying to suppress in others. It turns out he has all of them and some more, basically. you know but it was, I mean, look, I generally, this is not about kink shaming or anything. This is just about the pointing out the hypocrisy, because people are different. They have all these different things. But let me read this news part. A former Liberty University student says Becky Falwell, the wife of university's then president Jerry Falwell, jumped into bed with him and performed oral sex on him while he stayed over at the Falwell home after band practice with her eldest son in 2008. So I imagine, he quote, this is a quote from him: she was the aggressor. I love how uh, he's uh, describing their relationship as aggression. So the messages, screenshots of which were provided by the former students to Politico, suggests a flirtatious relationship that went beyond what might be expected of a mother communicating with her son's bandmate.
Jeez, so this person was underage.
No, I don't think they were underage. They were at university, so I would imagine they were all above 16 or 18. I don't know what's the law in that state. So there are states in the US where the consent age is like 12 or something. It's really fucked up.
No, that is true. And there was that
But
ad that came out last year that highlighted but child marriage in so many states or in some particular states in the US is like 12 or something.
I mean, I'm not a, I don't think I'm generally, I might be controversial in that I think it should be somewhere around 16 where it is in UK. Some people find that controversial, think 18. But there are places in Germany when it's like 14. It's very varied and surprisingly so, I think. Anyway, but until this point, this is like a very controversial story pointing out the hypocrisy of a religious leader and all of that. Fun, good. It's all in good fun, I think, at this point. Then it took a crazier turn. Like this is after I was done with writing my notes on this story. A crazier turn was taken. There were rumors that Mike, like, because Jerry Falwell played a big role in bringing the Christian vote towards Trump. Because everybody thought he's gonna, in the primary of Republicans in 2016, they thought he's gonna go for Ted Cruz, who was the classic evangelical politician. But then what happened was that he went for Trump actually. And then there were rumors that he had met with Cohen, talks of certain pictures and all that. Now let me read you this. This is from CNN, I think. Now, Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney, if people remember, I don't know if people remember him, he was portrayed by Ben Stiller in SNL. Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney and fixer, tells CNN that he intervened to make sure revealing photos of the Falwells were not released publicly in 2015. These were personal photos between a husband and wife, Cohen told CNN. I'm guessing because they were personal and only between a husband and wife. That's why Cohen is now describing them to any news channel that is willing to pay for it. So, everybody just comes out of this story just great. Initially, Cohen told CNN he confronted Granda's attorney. I don't know who is Granda, to be honest. Granda is the pool boy. Is the business partner / pool boy. Sorry. Granda, that's his family name. Granda's attorney about the photos, but later on Wednesday, Cohen corrected himself, which is, well, not great. Cohen is famous for lying, so I guess he might be lying about this whole thing. But it's one of those great stories that it starts with one really clickbaity, yellow, like low value news bit, and it just snowballs into a political crisis. It's really good. I enjoy that.
Yes, so the last details of this story broke this week, pretty much.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I haven't checked this morning, but I'm sure there has been an update. Okay. So before the news broke that it was like a very strange, well, not a usual relationship that the pool boy was having an affair with the wife and Jerry Falwell was watching. Before that part broke, apparently Jerry Falwell knew the story is gonna break the next day. So the night before, he throws his wife under the bus, saying that the wife was having an affair with the pool boy, and I gave her for it. So the story is just so good in terms of just backstabbing and push, like, oh, no, me, I was the bigger guy. I forgave her for having an affair. But it's just, yeah, it's a great story. But and there hasn't been any. I'll definitely try to update everybody on this story because it's just fucking great. And yeah.
When you said he threw her under the bus, I thought he literally pushed her in front of a bus for a second. I was like, makes sense.
Yeah, and this just to shift the attention of media to a different controversy.
Well, okay,
Uh,
this was the least surprising story of all time. And what I liked about it, though, the good thing is nobody seems to have been hurt. It wasn't a pedophile story that has to do with a religious person. Him and his wife and a pool boy. Lovely, wholesome story, kind of.
in a way, yeah. It's just the fact that they're in their public life, they are such religious extremists that yeah. But I would say that it was it's great, yeah, because even like the pool boy and their son's bandmate, what's like they got few high fives out of this. I think they weren't emotionally damaged or anything. But I just hope this is a story that continues for years to come. Like drip by drip, we find out more details. Just because it's funny.
But one thing, and what's happening with the university? Is it being closed down or anything like that? Is there anything?
Oh, no, no, he had to resign. The board forced him to resign as the president. No, no, the university is going as strong as always. It's just his position was undermined, and yeah, he's out. I mean, to be fair, he's typical, father was very charismatic, evangelical. I mean, his father was a monster, but I would assume, I don't remember, I mean, he didn't live in the age of internet as well, but he wasn't as clumsy in his PR at least. He only said horrible shit that you expect. He didn't, his horrible shit that you don't expect didn't come out.
Jeez, that was one hell of a story. So many levels to it so far.
Oh yeah, it's there's so many betrayals. The third party betraying the major two parties, then the husband betraying the wife, and then the Christian right betraying their leader. It's just great. It's a great story all around.